Hey traders, hope everybody's doing well. You're having a good weekend. It's Sunday, March 8th as I'm recording this. And I just wanted to make this video to address a question that I get asked fairly regularly in email. I get a lot of people emailing me and they all ask a question, kind of a variation of the same question, which is, I want to learn how to trade with real money, meaning I don't want to paper trade. I've done paper trading already, and I want to graduate to real money, but I'm really afraid of losing money because I have a small account, and the last thing that I want to do is lose my money, which is obviously a completely understandable fear for anybody to have. And so that's the reason for this video. I'm going to pull up a screenshot here of an Apple options chain. And so you can see these are all of the potential strike prices for call options. So this screenshot is for March 9th. This would be tomorrow. So this would be, if we were trading today, this would be the price tomorrow for a 1 day till expiration option. And remember, I always trade a relatively close expiry, meaning within the next few days. So if I'm trading the SPY or if I'm trading the Triple Q or the IWM options that have daily expiry, I never trade same day expiry, but I will frequently trade 1 day out. So if I traded the SPY on a Tuesday, I would get a Wednesday expiry on that options contract. And likewise, if I opened up a position on a Thursday, I would get a Friday expiry. Now, I don't always do 1 day out no matter what. Some days I actually go a couple more days out, depending on, other factors in the world or in, news, or there's a lot of different variations that can make my choice of expiry go a little bit further out, but I'll never do something like a 3 weeks out or 1 month out, simply because I never need that much time. Mostly I'm in and out within the same day. Occasionally I will hold something overnight, but I try not to even do that. I try to really stick to a straight day trading perspective, meaning in and out in the same day. And so because of that, most of the time I'm only looking for like 1 day out on my expiry. So, okay, we got that settled. Next, let's go and take a look at this screenshot here of Apple. So if you are afraid of losing money, but you still want to trade real money, meaning not paper trading, the best thing that you can do is go with a far out of the money strike price. What does that mean? Well, if we take a look at the middle of the picture here, you'll see that right in the middle here, like at the money, you've got $2.44 right below the cutoff line. So this $2.44 option is the first one that would be considered out of the money. And then above the break point where you see the sort of light blue shaded section, that is in the money. And your $4.15 option is your first choice that's in the money. And so what this means is that even though it says $4.15, basically it's controlling 100 shares of the underlying stock. So what this means practically is that this first in the money option is going to cost you $415 to buy one contract. And the first out of the money option here is going to cost you $244 to buy that one. So obviously, if your main goal is to simply get the experience of what it's like to get into and out of positions, like learning the mechanics of your buy and sell buttons and watching the charts after you get into a position and thinking about where do I get out of this position, if that's your main goal, then of course it's not a good idea to do this after buying a single options contract that costs you $415 to get into the position. That's incredibly risky because, all the time when you watch the charts, you'll see that there can be flash candles that hit at any moment, and you'll have no idea that a flash candle hits, and then suddenly your option that you bought for $415 is worth $370, and you've suddenly lost, $50 or more in the course of 1 minute. That's the last thing you want to do if you're just learning the mechanics of how to get into and out of positions, and if you're just trying to get a feel for what it's like to actually trade options with real money. So the solution, it's very simple. Just go way, way out of the money. Look at the bottom of this screenshot right here. This furthest out of the money strike price is at 0.02. What this means is that you can buy this options contract for $2. So you are essentially risking $2 to buy this options contract, as opposed to risking $415 to buy the contract that's the first in the money option here. Now, when you do this, it's important to set expectations. The biggest one is that you will not make any serious money when you trade an options contract that costs you $2. Just like you're not going to really lose anything, you're not going to make anything either. So you can't buy this $2 options contract and think that you're going to make $100 on it. That's just simply not going to happen. But that's not the point of doing this. The point of doing this is simply to get yourself used to what it's like to hit the buy button, to hit the sell button, to look at the charts in between the minute when you hit the buy and the sell button, to get yourself accustomed to what it actually feels like to really trade with real money. And so just simply going way, way out of the money and trading contracts that cost you $2 a piece is simply the best way to do that, because you can get in and out over and over and over again. And the worst thing that could possibly happen is that you lose $2 each time you do this. And that's definitely worth it to get the experience of just what it's like to trade real money, to only risk $2 each time to do that, as opposed to risking $400 to do that each time. So in a nutshell, the best way to trade real money without any real risk is to simply go way outside the money on your strike prices and to just trade those super duper cheap options contracts over and over until it's like second nature of, okay, it's not scary anymore when I click the buy button. It's not scary anymore when I click the sell button. It's like super easy. I understand what's going to happen. I understand whatever time lag might be in between the buy and the sell process. You can go and take a look at your P&L after you open and close the contract and get a feel for what that looks like. So that's it. Just go outside the money and trade those really cheap contracts until you get super used to the feeling of trading with real money. So that was the main point of today's video. Just wanted a little educational lesson for everybody who was literally brand new to trading real money. And that kind of dovetails into one more thing that I want to say on this video, is that I'm going to be making a new course which is specifically designed for people with very, very low amounts of money in their trading accounts. So I'm talking about $1,000 or less. And I know firsthand, just from my own experience, that it is much, much easier to make a lot of money when you have a lot of money in your trading account. It's just a simple fact. If you're trading with $10,000 in your account every day, it's much, much easier to have those $500, $600, $700 days than it is if you're trading with $1,000 in your account. It's just a fact. But at the same time, it is very possible to have $100, $200, even $300 days when you're only trading with about $1,000 in your account. So the next course that I'm going to make is simply I'm going to do 1 week of just trading with $1,000 in the account, and I'm going to show you day by day. Each day, I'm going to trade live, and I'm going to start on Monday with only allowing myself $1,000. So I'm going to imagine that I've only got $1,000 in my account, and so therefore, my trades on Monday are going to be limited to less than $1,000, and we're just going to trade with, me putting up maybe $300, $400, $500 of the account in a trade. We're going to see what we get, and then on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we're going to build, and we're going to see how much money we can make in the course of 1 week, just putting up $1,000 in an account. And I'm going to show you that it is actually possible to be very profitable even when you have a really small sized trading account. Because that's another thing that a lot of people will email me about, is they'll say, I've only got $1,000, I've only got $2,000. How can I actually trade with just a small amount of money? Because they'll see my channel and they'll see, based on my ins and outs on my videos, that I frequently put up thousands of dollars every day. And so they're thinking, okay, well, I see you do it, but you're doing it with a lot more money. I'm trying to make money starting with a smaller amount of money. And I'm going to show you that it is actually possible to also make money starting with a smaller amount of money. And that's just simply the point of my next course. So that should be out fairly soon. Can't give you an exact date, but I'm definitely going to be working on it and getting it out as quickly as I can. So stay tuned for that one. I'll be back here again tomorrow with another wrap-up video after the market is closed for the day. But have a nice Sunday, and see you soon. Bye-bye.